You know, there's something I've been thinking about lately, something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Many of us assume that once we hit our golden years, making it to 80 or beyond is just a matter of luck or good genes. But what if I told you there are hidden factors, things we don't always notice, that could be quietly working against us? Now, I'm not here to scare you. Far from it. I believe that when we know better, we can do better. And that's exactly why I want to share these 6 surprising reasons why most seniors struggle to live past 80. The good news? Once you're aware of them, you can take simple, practical steps to turn things around. So let's start with the first factor, one that might seem harmless at first, but can have a bigger impact than we realize. The slow drift away from movement. Remember when we were younger and staying active just happened naturally? Walking to the store, gardening, playing with grandkids, it all added up. But as the years go by, it's easy to slip into a more sedentary routine. Maybe the joints ache a little more, or energy isn't what it used to be. Before we know it, we're sitting more and moving less. Here's the thing. Our bodies are designed to move. When we stop using our muscles, they weaken. When we stop challenging our balance, it fades. And over time, this lack of movement can lead to stiffness, frailty, and even a higher risk of falls, one of the biggest threats to longevity after 60. But here's the good news. You don't have to run a marathon or lift heavy weights to stay strong. Small, consistent movements make all the difference. A short walk every day, gentle stretching, or even chair exercises can keep your muscles engaged and your body resilient. The key is to find something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore. Now, let's talk about something we all know is important but often forget: drinking enough water. As we age, our sense of thirst can dull, making it easy to go hours without a sip. And dehydration doesn't always announce itself with obvious thirst. Instead, it might show up as fatigue, confusion, or even dizziness, things we might brush off as just part of getting older. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. Water keeps our joints lubricated, our digestion smooth, and our brains sharp. When we're dehydrated, our blood thickens, making the heart work harder. Over time, chronic dehydration can strain the body in ways that add up. The fix? Make hydration a habit. Keep a water bottle nearby, take small sips throughout the day, and include hydrating foods like cucumbers, oranges, or soups. If plain water feels boring, try adding a slice of lemon or a sprig of mint for a little flavor. This next factor might surprise you, but it's just as important as diet and exercise. Social connections. It's easy to underestimate how much our relationships affect our health, but research shows that loneliness can be as damaging as smoking or obesity when it comes to lifespan. Think about it. When we're isolated, stress levels rise, sleep suffers, and even the immune system weakens. On the other hand, having meaningful conversations, sharing laughs, or simply being around people we care about can lower blood pressure, boost mood, and even sharpen the mind. Now, I know socializing isn't always easy, especially if friends or family live far away, but connection doesn't have to mean big gatherings. A phone call, a weekly coffee with a neighbor, or even joining a community group, in person or online, can make a world of difference. Before we proceed, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Now that we've talked about movement, hydration, and staying connected, let's dive into the next 2 factors. Because sometimes the things we don't notice are the ones that affect us the most. The hidden dangers of poor sleep. How did you sleep last night? If you're like many seniors, you might wake up feeling less rested than you'd like. Maybe you fall asleep easily, but wake up at 3 a.m. and can't drift back off. Or perhaps you feel tired during the day, but struggle to sleep at night. Here's the thing. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's when our bodies repair cells, consolidate memories, and regulate everything from blood pressure to appetite. When sleep suffers for years, it can quietly chip away at our health, weakening the immune system, increasing inflammation, and even raising the risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. But the good news is, small changes can make a big difference. A consistent bedtime, limiting caffeine in the afternoon, and keeping the bedroom cool and dark can all help. If aches and pains keep you up, a small adjustment, like a different pillow or a gentle stretch before bed, might be the key. And if you're someone who naps during the day, try keeping it short, 20 to 30 minutes, so it doesn't steal from nighttime sleep. Now, let's talk about something many of us don't think about until it becomes a problem. Medications. As we get older, it's common to be prescribed multiple pills for different conditions. And while medications can be life-saving, taking too many or mixing the wrong ones can sometimes do more harm than good. You see, our bodies process drugs differently as we age. A medication that worked well at 60 might need adjustment at 75. Side effects like dizziness, confusion, or fatigue can sometimes be mistaken for normal aging, when in reality, they might be linked to a prescription. This doesn't mean you should stop taking your meds. Never do that without talking to your doctor. But it does mean it's worth having an annual medication checkup. Ask your doctor or pharmacist, is everything still necessary? Are there simpler options? Could any of these be interacting in a way that's causing problems? Sometimes a small tweak can lead to big improvements in energy and overall health. And here's something else to consider. What we eat can affect how medications work too. Grapefruit, for example, can interfere with certain blood pressure or cholesterol drugs. Even common supplements like magnesium or St. John's wort can cause unexpected reactions. So always keep your healthcare provider in the loop about everything you're taking, even if it's just natural. Before we move on to the final factors, I want to touch on something that ties everything together, our mindset. You've probably heard the saying, you're only as old as you feel, and there's actually some science behind that. Stress, negativity, and a lack of purpose can take a real toll on longevity. Chronic stress, for instance, raises cortisol levels, which over time can weaken the immune system and even shrink parts of the brain linked to memory. On the flip side, studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose, whether it's hobbies, volunteering, or simply staying curious, tend to live longer, healthier lives. So how do we nurture that? It doesn't have to be complicated. Maybe it's picking up an old hobby you loved years ago, learning something new. Even if it's just a word a day in a different language, or finding small ways to help others. The key is to keep engaging with life in ways that bring you joy. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please take a moment to do so and like our content. We've covered so much already. How staying active, drinking enough water, nurturing relationships, prioritizing sleep, and managing medications can all play a quiet but powerful role in how long and how well we live. But there's one last factor we need to talk about, and it's something so simple, so everyday, that most of us don't even realize its impact. The meals that make or break longevity. Think about what you ate yesterday. Was it mostly home-cooked meals, or did convenience foods sneak in? As we get older, our nutritional needs change, but our eating habits don't always keep up. Maybe cooking for one feels like too much effort, or chewing certain foods has become difficult. Over time, small shifts in diet, less protein, more processed snacks, not enough fiber, can add up to big problems. Let me share a story about my friend Edward that really opened my eyes to this. At 76, Edward was what doctors called skinny fat. Normal weight, but losing muscle, always fatigued. His pantry was full of instant noodles and crackers. "Cooking's too much trouble just for me," he'd say. Then his daughter started coming over every Sunday to prepare freezer-friendly meals together. Hearty soups, baked fish, roasted vegetables. Within months, Edward's energy improved dramatically. His last blood test showed better numbers across the board. The best part? Those cooking Sundays became something they both cherished, nourishing his body and their relationship at the same time. Here's why this matters. After 60, our bodies absorb nutrients less efficiently. We need more protein to maintain muscle, more calcium and vitamin D to protect bones, and more fiber to keep digestion smooth. But instead, many seniors end up eating less variety, fewer fresh foods, and more packaged items that are high in salt and sugar but low in real nourishment. The fix? Focus on little and often. Instead of big meals that feel overwhelming, try smaller portions of nutrient-dense foods throughout the day. A handful of nuts, some yogurt with berries, or eggs with whole grain toast. If chewing is an issue, softer options like stews, smoothies, or roasted vegetables can be just as nutritious. And if you're feeling uninspired in the kitchen, consider Edward's approach. Make it social. Share cooking with a friend, neighbor, or family member. It transforms a chore into a joy. Now, let's take a step back. You might be thinking, that's a lot to remember. But here's the beautiful part. You don't have to tackle everything at once. In fact, the secret to making lasting changes is to start small. Pick one area, maybe drinking more water or adding a 10-minute walk to your day, and build from there. Remember Edward's story? He didn't change everything overnight. He started with accepting help for one meal a week, and the benefits multiplied from there. That's how lasting change works. One step at a time. Maybe for you it begins with swapping one processed snack for fresh fruit, sharing a potluck dinner with neighbors weekly, adding a protein source to your breakfast, drinking a glass of water with each meal. Each small choice is like depositing coins in your health savings account. Alone, they seem insignificant, but over time, they grow into something substantial. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Aging isn't about loss. It's about opportunity. Every day gives us new chances to nourish our bodies, strengthen our connections, and find joy in simple moments. The people who thrive in their later years aren't special. They've just learned to work with their changing needs rather than against them. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of these ideas resonates most? Have you found ways to make meals more enjoyable or nutritious? Share your experiences in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If you found this helpful, please like and share this video. You never know who in your circle might benefit from these insights. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more conversations about living your best life at every age. Here's to your health, your happiness, and all the wonderful years ahead. Remember, it's never too late to start living well. Thank you for being part of this conversation.